Hello everybody, it's Jason here. Now, this is going to be a bit of a vlog series on a diet that I'm trying, so this is the introduction. I may start doing it with my better camera, but at the moment this is what I'm using. Now I'm trying to do, and I've started to, well I say I started yesterday, but let's say we call it today. Now this is a diet that is going to be low in carbs, right? No dairy. In fact, when I say low in carbs, I basically mean no carbs. It's like a carnivore diet, but you still get to eat select amount of greens. And essentially, what got me onto this is, as you may know, or you won't know because I haven't told you, is that I've been on this diet now, a vegan diet, not this one that I'm talking about now, but the vegan diet I've been on since about last April. So it's almost been a year, right? And it did help me lose weight. I lost a couple of stone. And now I'm wondering, well, are there any other sort of diets I can undertake that might actually help with other conditions that I have? Now, one I do have, and is the most obvious one, particularly if I go swimming, is psoriasis, right? I might show you this in the video, because then I have a frame to compare it against. And apparently this diet is actually one that will help with things like arthritis, depression, fatigue, and skin conditions. And obviously psoriasis is an autoimmune disease. It's from excess inflammation. Now, I've had this for years. You can probably see some on my scalp. It's certainly all over my arms there, see, and I'll show you the rest of my body in a minute. But the diet comprises of a select number of meats that you can have. You can't have pork for some reason, I don't know why, but the meats are as listed here: turkey, beef, chicken, lamb, duck, wild game such as moose, wild salmon, tuna, organ meat like chicken liver, wild herring, and wild sardines. So in the grand scheme of meats, not so many. In terms of vegetables, again, not a whole comprehensive list here. We've got lettuce, arugula. I think that's just some other name for coriander. No, it's not. It's got a different. Cucumber, Swiss chard, seaweed, cilantro, collard greens, broccoli, turnips, cauliflower, parsnips, spinach, and thank God for this, but you can actually also have sweet potatoes, which has been the whole thing saving me along with this, because I really love chips, but you can get away with making chip-like things. Now, the number of fruits you can have is, well, small to say the least. The only ones you're allowed are olives. Yeah. In terms of vinegars, you can have apple cider vinegar, no less. Oils, you can have coconut oil or olive oil, and I assume extra virgin olive oil. But you don't want any soy. You don't want any that has any impurities like soy in it. Now, in terms of spices and seasoning, the list is salt, pepper, marjoram, parsley, oregano, thyme, rosemary, peppermint, turmeric, basil, bay leaf, and coriander. Now, they're the only spices you can have. Now, I do have all of those in stock. So, actually, I went and got one today, but they're all in stock now. Now, in terms of other sort of peripheral things you can have baking soda. What you have, I don't know what you would use baking soda for, if nothing, if no sort of bread or cakes. Peppermint tea. I've got my peppermint tea right here. Ta-da! Oh god, it's dripping. Okay, that's you can have black tea now and green tea, and I try to cut down a bit on the caffeine. And in terms of alcohol, you can have vodka or bourbon, or like some sorts of whiskies. So not a very lot of alcoholic drinks there. I don't know if I'll just drink vodka on its own. I normally have it with wine. You can't have wine, so I can't do that one. Okay, one moment. So this is to show what my psoriasis looks like from the front, and I don't know if I'll be able to get there from the back, but as you can see, it's all over my skin. And yes, it does get itchy, and it does put people off at the swimming. I think they often wonder it's contagious, and you sort of get stared at. But, you gotta live with it. It's all over my legs as well, actually. So it's just all over it. I'm covered in it. And if this sets your diet, and apparently it can take about 3 to 4 weeks before you actually notice the effects of it. And if it does do, one part of me is sort of worried that the diet works so well that I just have to stick to it. If I got rid of my psoriasis, I'd have a very, very difficult decision at that point to make. Do I sacrifice the joys of carbohydrates? And I love pasta, I love rice, or do I just sacrifice the joys of clear and non-itchy skin? And I think for some people they may find, you know, they can just cut out carbohydrates and consume meat and all that sort of stuff, or they can't. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly weigh myself to let you know what that is. Okay, so I have just had myself weighed. I'll give all the additional statistics regarding body fat, muscle and all that in the description below, but at the moment I stand at 11 stone 2. Now I had been on a bit of a trip to mates and I didn't hold back on eating there, so I put more weight on than actually what I'd lost over the course of the year. So I'm standing at 11 stone 2 at the moment. That's really important to bear in mind, because that's what we're going to start comparing this diet to. It's going to give us a baseline to how it affects my weight. But we're also going to be very closely monitoring the condition of my skin, and I'll also try and report on whether I feel less tired. I'll try and report on whether I can concentrate for longer. I'll try and report on if I can sing finally, you know, just all that sort of stuff really. So please stay in tune. You can subscribe and you'll get daily alerts of how I'm progressing through this diet. And so far I've survived today. But I do want to actually this is another thing I want to do. I was going to give a description of what I eat during the day. So for today, what I did was gone to the Asda and I bought some ingredients. And by the way, the Asda is almost ransacked because I believe that with all the snow, it has actually caused disruptions for the for the delivery vans, you know, the lorries to actually deliver produce. So it was almost empty. But I did manage to get a few bits and bobs. Should probably list those, but mainly greens. I got some greens mainly, yeah, greens. I mean, what else did I get? I got olives. I wanted some olives. And I got some salad components. And you can't have carrots, by the way. Carrots are forbidden. And tomatoes. Apparently you can't have tomatoes. And what's a salad without tomatoes? So yeah, it was mainly greens. I also got some extra virgin olive oil. Apparently that's meant to help for when, say, you're feeling hungry. It can help to actually do yourself a quick salad and dress in a bit of extra virgin olive oil. So that's what I actually then did when I got back, because I hadn't actually eaten that day and I'd already been swimming. And I was actually becoming really hungry, craving stuff. I thought, well, I better get some sort of substance in me quick before I break and start eating crisps or chocolates or carbohydrates. So I had to do that. And that's what I did. I got back, I made myself a salad, dressed it in a bit of olive oil, and then my second phase of plan was to then go to the Aldi and get some various meats. And I got mince, I got chicken, I got fish. Salmon is acceptable, so I got salmon. And yeah, when I got back, I whipped myself up a bit of fried mincemeat and steamed vegetables. I had steamed broccoli, cauliflower, and some spinach and kale was also steamed. And yeah, of course, the essential ingredient of it all actually really was the sweet potatoes. I had some turnips. No, not turnip. Parsnips. I chopped those up into sort of chip-like wedges and put them in the oven for about 30 minutes, about 200 degrees. I'd smothered them in a sort of olive oil dressing and salted and peppered them. Got some fresh parsley. I had those with fresh parsley, and that was the sort of composite of the dish, really. So it's pretty simple. It's just very simple, and that can be the difficulty, really. It can lack variety, so I'm going to have to think of other ways to make it look a bit, you know, to change it up, really. So maybe I'll have salmon tomorrow, but you'll find out soon enough, because I'll make another video vlog detailing what I do. Until then, it's me, Jason. Do share, like, subscribe, and suggest what I should eat, actually. If you know anything about a diet like this, give me some recipes. Okay, bye-bye.